And we are live. It's the Revved Up 906 podcast, a Detroit Pistons podcast to be exact, and I'm Ryan. Tonight, we fall to the Golden State Warriors 120 to 109. From my perspective, I'm not really complaining tonight. We came out with a lot more energy than we did Sunday there. And it was just, we obviously, no matter what, it's a loss. You're gonna be bummed out. Because at the end of the day, it sucks. But from what we saw tonight out of the Pistons versus what we saw yesterday, uh, it's a completely different game. And so that's something you can put your hat on. We saw the new three-headed monster, including Draymond Green. He really is. I mean, it's a four-headed monster. I mean, if you want to be technical, five, including Andrew Wiggins, but I don't want to go there. So four with Draymond Green, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Chris Paul. Curry was doing his thing. He had 34 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds, 3 of 4 from the free throw line, 7 of 17 from three, and 12 of 26 from the field on 33 minutes. He was spectacular. He was doing his thing. That's what you expect out of a first ballot Hall of Famer. Klay Thompson, we only held him to 17 points. I'm not complaining at all. 17 points, 4 assists, a rebound, 1 of 8 from three, and 8 of 16 from the field in 28 minutes. I'm not, seriously, no complaints. Like, if you're holding a guy like that who is a first ballot Hall of Famer to 17 points, there really isn't any complaints, especially when you have Steph Curry having the 34. But it hurts when you have Chris Paul dropping 17 as well. Chris Paul can shoot. Don't get me wrong, he can. There's not a lot of people in the league that pay attention to guarding Chris Paul in that way. They mainly go after him in the sense of clogging the lane so he can't pass. And a lot of fans don't think he can shoot really, because mainly you don't see him every night going out there and having 17 plus points. You see him having like 10 to 12 assists a game, but he wasn't doing that so much tonight because the lanes were clogged. We attacked him from that standpoint, and so he just took up his advantage of just shooting, and he had that tonight. We saw no Jalen Duren tonight. He was out due to ankle soreness. It's day to day, so we may see him Wednesday night. Who knows? It's yet to be seen. We saw James Wiseman have another opportunity to play. And it's one where it's not like, whoa, James Wiseman, you were amazing. It was more of like, if you're looking at the box score and you didn't watch the game, you're going like, wow, James Wiseman, what happened? But if you watch the game, you'd realize like the lane was clogged every single time. There were 2 to 3 guys on him in the paint while he was trying to lay it in. So like you can understand how he would miss those shots. He only took 3 shots, but he also had 3 boards. I will say there is one opportunity from when he got in where he had the easy rebound, right? But then you have Moses Moody beating him on the glass, getting the board, and having a putback right in Wiseman's face. And to me, I understand that Wiseman hasn't had the rhythm that all these other Pistons have had early on in this season. But you also have to understand, like, if you really are wanting to be out there on a regular basis and impress the coaching staff, you're going to get that board. It's going to look very bad on your behalf if you have what happened to you happen. Because that just shows you, like, it kind of shows the coaches kind of, you know, I want to try, but I don't want to try because I feel like I can just grab it and not put in any effort. But you have to put in effort. That's how it works. So going forward, there's a chance we're going to see more of him, and I think we will. But truthfully, if he doesn't change his mindset going into these games and while he's actually out there, I don't see a change being made from Monty's side of things, expecting him to be out there all the time. I just don't see it. Killian Hayes, my goodness, I have hyped you up so much over this past summer and so much over the last year or so. And there's a lot of you out there as Pistons fans that aren't very lovey-dovey with Killian Hayes. It's a love-hate relationship, or it's just a hate relationship. Um, that's your opinion. I'm stating my opinion. That's all this is. But from a factual perspective, the dude balled out tonight. He had 21 points, 7 assists, a block, a steal, and 4 rebounds. Was 100% at the line, making 2 free throws, 3 of 4 from 3, and 8 of 12 from the field in 34 minutes. Killian Hayes, thank you. Because, like, there were multiple nights early on this season where you're seeing flashes of Killian and whatnot, and you're going like, okay, he's playing much different than he was last year. He's playing with a lot more swagger and a lot more confidence, and it's evident, especially tonight. He was just everywhere. Like, he was clogging the lanes, and just he was shooting with confidence, and that's something that we haven't really seen the last couple of years or so. But now this year, it's a whole new Killian Hayes, and we're finally starting to see it. Monty made a comment during post game there that, like, tonight is evident why Weaver drafted him in the first place and saw the vision behind Killian Hayes working with our team. And I completely agree with that. He was a key factor in us even staying in it from time to time, and a key factor in this game, just in the overall sense of, like, if you take Killian Hayes out of this game tonight, I honestly think that we would have lost by more. I truly do. Cade Cunningham, 21 points, 2 steals, 5 assists, 4 boards, 6 of 7 from the free throw line, 1 of 6 from 3, and 7 of 18 from the field. We saw him play a little bit more off ball tonight than what we've seen previous nights and a year or so now. But that's fine. He's said going in, like, hey, put me wherever you want on the floor. I just want to win. Like, I want this team to win and do good. It doesn't matter if the ball's in his hands at all times. He just wants to go out there and win. And you can really appreciate that out of a stud player in Killian Hayes and Cade Cunningham. Now, Killian is a stud player too, in my opinion, but that's my opinion. But no, Cade, he didn't play like above and beyond spectacular, but it wasn't like a bad game at all. It's just one of those games that you expect from Cade Cunningham to have, and he had it tonight. Isaiah Stewart, 17 points, a block, 4 assists, 11 boards, 100% at the line, making 4 free throws, 3 of 5 from 3, and 5 of 9 from the field in 39 minutes. Isaiah Stewart, I'm going to give you a round of applause here because you had another great game. And something that you have to take notice of is his 3-point shooting. Obviously, last year, Dwayne Casey and the training staff and the front office were like, hey, we need to develop a 3-point shot with Isaiah Stewart because that would unlock a whole nother level to his game. And we saw a drastic improvement with his 3-point shot last year. And then this year, we're seeing it again, right? Like, the fact he was 3 of 5 from the 3-point line tonight, that is great for Isaiah Stewart. And, like, from an overall game perspective, you can't complain. Azar Thompson, 16 points, 4 steals, 2 assists, 7 rebounds, 100% at the line, making 3 free throws, 1 of 4 from 3, and 6 of 10 from the field in 37 minutes. I'm just going to say, like, everybody in our starting lineup tonight, Bagley struggled a little bit, I will say. But otherwise, everybody else in our starting lineup tonight had a great game. You're seeing, like, as time goes on, even though we're dealing with losses as of late, but as time goes on, you're seeing this young team coming together, growing together, having these experiences, and learning from it. These guys are starting to finally get in a groove and play together as a team. And it's great to see because, like, early on last year, there were times where it was like one guy did his thing and then that guy would completely disappear the next night, and then 2 other guys would do their thing, and then it would just be like all over the place, and it wouldn't be a constant cycle. But this year, early on, through 7 games, we've seen a constant cycle of players playing together, and that's something very good to see. In certain situations, in the last couple of games, we've had more ISO situations than moving the ball. And tonight, we were moving the ball. There was not really any ISO situation out there. And that's very good because that's one thing you notice with this Pistons team is if the ball stands still, and granted, this is for any team, but if the ball stands still and there's no movement, it's hard to score points. and it really is. But I'm glad that the ball movement was there tonight, even if it's a loss. It's practice. Practice makes perfect at the end of the day. And if you consistently grow in terms of ball movement each night out, you're going to be better in the long run. We saw Stanley Amude put on a show, put on a basketball clinic tonight for us. He got called up by Monty for this game due to injuries that we had with Jalen Duren, and then Jaden Ivey was still out due to illness. And it's one of those nights where you wouldn't expect a two-way player to play as good as he played, but he showed like, hey, I can play in this league too. And truthfully, I don't know where Hudson stands on this because we haven't really talked Stanley Amude recently. Also, he's in India, but Amude, I really feel like he shouldn't be a two-way player. I feel like he should be on our active roster going forward, and even for the long run, because he's proven in summer league, he's proven in preseason, and he's proven clearly tonight that there is a role and a spot for him on this team. Because we were without key players in Monte Morris, Alec Burks, Jalen Duren, Isaiah Livers, Bojan Bogdanovic. But yet you have Stanley Amude coming in on a two-way contract in 16 minutes, have 15 points, 3 rebounds, 100% at the line, making 1 free throw, 4 of 5 from 3, and 5 of 8 from the field. He was very efficient, only had 1 turnover, and only had 3 fouls. And what he did tonight versus the last couple opportunities that he's had to play is the last couple opportunities, he would react a little too fast on the defensive end, and then there'd be a foul. And then we're down in a hole a little bit and we have to climb out. But tonight he was much more solidified on the defensive side of the ball. And that was very good to see out of him. And then offensively, we know what he can do, but he proved like, hey, even if it's the Golden State Warriors, who are just one of the cream of the crop teams in the league, it's basically a monster that you're going up against. I can still do my thing and show you that I can play. And I'm ecstatic out of Stanley Amude tonight. And my top 2 actually. Okay, that's unfair because I would say my top 5, excluding Bagley, would be the starting 4 minus Bagley, including Stanley Amude as my top 5 guys. But that's not fair because that'd be essentially saying that the entire team hit the nail on the head tonight. But no, that's not the case. But I will say, Killian Hayes, Stanley Amude it really impressed me tonight. Even Marcus Sasser, he did struggle shooting the ball tonight and scoring. But like he just came off an 18-point game, an 11-point game, and so on. And it's hard to stay on a consistent cycle as a rookie. It really is. You're not used to the speed yet, or not used to certain teams yet, and so this kind of thing happens. But from Sasser tonight, 7 points, a steal, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, 1 of 5 from 3, and 3 of 10 from the field. It was one of those games for him, and it was a better game for us that we've shown out in the last couple games. And there's not any particular complaints from me. It's just in late game situations, you need to learn how to handle them. We had a costly turnover there in the last stretch where we had an 8-second violation called on us. Due to the ball being tipped out, we actually only had 4 seconds left on the clock, on the time, to get the ball up the court. And the Pistons were unaware of that. And so they thought they still had the 8 seconds and they were going slow, taking their time. And in the end result, it hurts us. The Warriors go down and score again, and then we're in a bigger hole, and it's hard to come back, especially that late with very little time left on the clock to actually come back and win. But those are just the little things that you need to clean up. More self-awareness and better execution in late game situations. I think this game could have ended up in a potential win for us. And so it's just a couple little things that you really have to clean up on. Because truthfully, we play the Houston Rockets, the Memphis Grizzlies, I say the Memphis Grizzlies because last time I checked, they were 0-6. That's not good. But I say some of these teams because we would beat those teams. The Warriors, even though they've been a little like on the colder end of the dynasty streak that they were on, they're still good. They're still a monster. You still have to go in there and work your tail off to beat them. And so, truthfully, against majority of the other teams in the league, we would have ended up with the win tonight. So there's no complaints from me. Again, the final score of tonight's game: Golden State 120, Pistons 109. There are truthfully no complaints from my side of the ball, from my perspective, I should say. I don't know why I said ball. But yeah, no complaints. You need to clean up a couple little things, have better self-awareness, and just being able to close in late game situations. Other than that, I think truthfully, this is a game that is gonna drive us to go on a hot winning streak. And if not, so be it. But I really do appreciate what the Pistons were able to do tonight in ball movement, and just Killian Hayes and his progression as a player, and just the so many other crucial players that were in effect for us tonight in Stanley Amude. You really balled out, and we thank you for that. But that will do it for the Revved Up podcast. We will see you guys next time. Peace.